Hello everyone, welcome back. My name's Matthew, and today I'm going to get to do something that I don't often get the chance to do, which is frankly just nerd out about some of my instruments. It's something we all love to do from time to time, and I'm going to do a couple of videos breaking down some of my most important instruments. And today I'm going to start off with one that I actually made and built myself. Back in 2018, I got the chance to build a ukulele with master luthier Pete Howlett. If you don't know Pete Howlett by name, you probably will have seen at least some of his ukuleles out in the wild. He is responsible for inventing the very popular new Revelator model. He started them off before he sold the design to Carla, who are now pushing the design even further. Completely revolutionary, and that in and of itself would be enough to put his name on the map, so to speak. But he's been responsible for starting many other trends and things. A lot of the ukulele orchestra of Great Britain started out on Pete Howlett models. Plenty of professional players use his ukuleles, and he's been a true innovator of the instrument throughout all the decades that he's been building them. And he used to run this course as well in his workshop where you could go and stay with him for a week and build a ukulele from scratch. Literally the only thing we didn't do was cut down the tree, and at the end of the week, a very intensive week, you come out with your very own tenor ukulele. So I say I built it myself, but really he was teaching me how to build, and there was someone else there as well. And we had a great time putting together this ukulele and really sort of learning about how it's all made. I really enjoyed the course, and it's also opened my eyes up to actually being able to do a bit more maintenance on my ukulele. Before this, I didn't really know how to change strings or all the extra little fiddly bits you have to do to set up a ukulele. I got a much better insight on how these things are done through that course, which is an experience I'm grateful for, again, in and of itself. But the fact I've actually come away with my own ukulele that I built is just fantastic, and I always try and play it wherever I can. So let's break down the ukulele. So obviously it's a tenor size, and it's sort of built to Pete's dimensions. He sort of came up with the blueprint, the plan, the dimensions and everything, but we got a bit of free choice in the shape of the headstock. I wasn't too imaginative, I just went for a sort of straight, sort of simple one, but it is a little bit asymmetrical. This side's a bit higher, it's sort of like a little bit of a wave, but you could have everything, you know, you could have all sorts of shapes if you wanted to. Of course as well, I often get asked why the headstock is blank, there's no logo there, and that's because it's my own, which is, I think, really cool. Have you ever thought about playing jazz on the ukulele? Believe it or not, the ukulele is really well suited to playing jazz, and there's a whole host of stuff that you'll be able to do with your ukulele that you will never have done before and you'll never do elsewhere. So why not come and study some jazz ukulele on my brand new online course? The Jazz Beginners course takes you right from the basics, where you only need to know a handful of chords and strumming techniques, and by the end of the course you'll be able to play dozens of jazz standards really well. We've got hours of videos split across 7 modules and over 40 lessons, most of which come with a downloadable PDF and activity pack. You'll learn how to play with others, as well as gain more independency as a musician. I've been playing jazz ukulele all of my life, and I'm constantly exploring and finding new things, and through these courses I'm going to be sharing some of that information with you. So why not head over to matthewquilliam.co.uk and begin your ukulele journey today.
Because you are all I long for, all I worship and adore.
So this ukulele started out as 2 blocks of wood on a workbench, 2 blocks of koa wood, which is the native Hawaiian wood. And I really did enjoy using koa because it's that traditional ukulele sound which I just really, really love. So we started off by sort of carving out the general shape, did the back and the front and the sides and things, sawing them out of these bits of wood here. Pete sort of shaped them into the right sort of shape. Apparently this is quite hard to do, getting that curve right. That was the only thing he sort of did fully, because apparently it's quite hard to get right. If you get the shape wrong, you've got to start again. So I was grateful that he did that bit. But the rest of it we did. We cut out the wood, made the sound hole using all sorts of different tools and things, putting it all together, doing the bracing inside, and it's got bracing on the top side as well under here. Putting all that together, really intricate stuff. You had to get all the measurements just right, and I think I just about got there. Even the bits of bracing you can see at the bottom there, those sorts of recesses and slopes at the end we had to carve out. It really was everything from scratch build. There were no pre-made parts. Eventually we put it all together, started sanding it down and really sort of refining the smoothness. It's quite smooth around the edge, but obviously being handmade from myself, it's got a few little dings and things here. It's obviously not perfect, but I quite like that. If it was a perfect model, I might as well have just bought something from the factory. So the fact that it's got a few of my mistakes in kind of makes it a bit more personal to me, which is really, really nice. We did come to the neck, carving the neck again. That was quite a tiring process because it's so long and thin. You really had to get the angle just right, and there was a lot of sanding. That's pretty much all we did that day. But the neck again is I think it's, yes, one piece of wood all the way up to the headstock there, so a lot of carving. Although there was a top plate on the top of the peg head there, and of course the fretboard as well we had to shape, put all the frets on, cut them up to exactly the right measurement. They were too long, had to start again, too short, start again. Putting the side dots on, literally absolutely everything. We didn't make the tuners, I suppose. The tuners were factory made. We just plonk those in, but again we had to build them. They don't just come like that, you've got to put all the parts together and everything. The nut, the bridge, and the whole saddle component. I can't remember if we had to make the end bridge pins or not. These might have been pre-existing parts, I'm not too sure, but I do remember having to at least trim them to the right size, and again none of them are sort of exactly like the others. They're all quite unique, so there was at least some handmade element to that. And then I had a pickup fitted as well. As you can see, it's plugged in, so we had to trim the bridge down and make sure it all fits in nicely. This is a passive pickup, not quite too sure what it is, but we had to drill a hole through here, which is quite exciting, and then hearing it amplified for the first time was very exciting. And of course, your first song, when you finally get the strings on, you start playing the songs, that's just a magical moment. You've spent a whole week putting this thing together with no idea what you're going to come out the other side with, and it's just sounded amazing. And I'll give you a little demonstration now. As you might have been able to hear, the uke's tuned in B flat. I quite like tenor ukuleles generally in B flat with a low G, or will it be a low F in this case? F, B flat, D, G. I quite like that darker sound, especially with the Worth browns I have on here, and the tenor size, and the koa wood. It's all quite sort of dark. I quite like to use it for the kind of low end. I've got some other ukuleles which are quite sort of bright and peppy, so this is a nice contrast to that. Big thanks, of course, go out to Pete Howlett for not only hosting the course, but actually passing on his decades of experience and expertise. He didn't just sort of leave us to it, he really guided us through, giving us little workshops and things, telling us how to do each part of the instrument, and really wanted to make sure that we had an instrument that we were happy with. You know, he really was very methodical, made sure it was just right, all the little parts were just right, and helped us to come out the other side with a really wonderful instrument. So again, thanks to Pete Howlett for that. If you want to learn more about Pete's work, I've left some links in the description so you can go and read up about him there. And in the meantime, make sure you're subscribed to this channel because I'm going to be doing more videos like this, talking through some of my ukuleles, my other ukuleles. I'd love to hear what ukuleles you have in your ukulele arsenal. Do you have ones like mine, sort of lower pitch or whatever, or do you prefer the brighter ones that I'll be talking about in future episodes? I want to hear all about your favourite ukulele in the comments. And in the meantime, I've got another video as well which you can watch by clicking on this link right here. I'll see you over there.